Good morning, everybody. I'm in Phoenix, and I thought I was going to have some time before my flight, but we had a little, I had a little bit of a logistics issue, so I was running late for my flight. But looks like I've got a few minutes, and just wanted to comment on a couple of things. I saw yesterday, it was really cool that the United States won their game against Iran in the World Cup. So that was pretty amazing. That was exciting. Good stuff for the men's soccer team. And then I saw this this news report. Here you can see the headline right here that apparently the Professional Soccer Association has a deal so that the men, all the money that they won for winning this tournament game, they have to split that with the with the women's soccer team. And it's funny because the women have won the World Cup the last 2 years, and they're actually going to get a bigger payday hitching their star to the men's team who won this, first round, basically the single elimination round. They get more money. They're going to get more of a payout, the women are, than they did for the previous 2 years. And I just thought that was kind of funny because, once again, it just proves the point that women can't succeed in anything unless they attach themselves to a man. And then I thought about it, I said, this is absolutely ridiculous. This is not, and I'm sure the women said, it's not fair because, the men make all this, more money than the women do. Well, the reality is, and this isn't, I love women, don't get me wrong. I hate feminism, but I love women. But women's basketball, women's soccer, it's a bad product. Nobody wants to see these games. And, if it was really that important, the WNBA would be filling stadiums night after night after night, but nobody cares. Men don't care. Women don't care. Nobody wants to see a bunch of lesbian women running up and down a basketball court taking three-point shots. I mean, they can't dunk. It's not very exciting. It's boring. And then soccer, as an American, we think soccer is kind of like watching paint dry anyway. If you're not careful, you can miss the warm-up as they start the soccer game because it really doesn't change a whole lot from the warm-up to the actual event. But in America, we just don't really care about soccer. So then to have women's soccer, of course, people just don't care. And again, if women want to play in sports, be the WNBA, soccer, more power to them. I don't really care. But what all started with this feminism idea of equality and fairness, and we want the opportunity, the equality of opportunities, this is now gone. It's no longer about equality of opportunities. Now they demand, and it's not even a request, they are demanding that it's equality of outcome. Now, I'm sorry, that's just absolutely, in my view, that's satanic. That's just an absolute evil way of operating equality of outcome because we're all different. Everybody has different, gifts and proclivities and work ethic and discipline. You should not get the same result. If somebody works their ass off putting in 70, 80 hours a week, they should get more than somebody that doesn't. That's just the way it is. That's reality. So this whole idea of fairness and equality, that might have been how the whole feminist movement started, but at least that's the propaganda that they say. It actually didn't start that way in the mid-1800s. It was always about destroying men and man-hating. It was nothing to do with equality. If you don't believe me, just look into the history of feminism. That's how it started. But they've kind of hijacked it, and so they're saying now the first wave of feminism was all about equality and fairness, and this new wave, the trans stuff, the homosexual, the lesbian, they're saying this is all new, and they're not into it. No, that stuff started. The trans didn't, but the whole homosexuality stuff did. That was way back in the day. But anyway, I'm kind of getting off point. This equality of outcome is nothing more than communism. And we all know, if you're any student of history, you understand that communism destroys everything it touches. And if the 20th century has taught us anything, with China and Russia, almost 100 million people died in the name of fairness and equality. This whole idea of communism and socialism, it's absolutely toxic and destructive. And the other thing that it does, where they have this, equality of outcome, where they stole the money, they fleeced it, they took it from the men's team and gave it to the women. That destroys any sense of morality that has to do with giving. Because this wasn't done, the men didn't say, hey, out of the generosity of our heart, we think this is the right thing to do. We're going to give this money to the women. This was taken from them. So there's no honor in somebody stealing from somebody. And then the women, they don't have any gratitude for this because nobody actually had to make an effort to give something to them. Somebody took it from one person and gave it to another. So this whole idea that, that this is somehow a morally good thing to do, to steal from somebody and give it to somebody else, is clearly reprehensible. This whole communist steal from the rich, give to the poor, there's nothing moral about that. And all it does is destroy morality because it removes the ability for you to give because, again, they've just stolen half of your money, so you don't have the ability to give like you could. And the person that was just been given this tax money or the fleecing from the men's purse, there's no gratitude for that. So you can't have morality when you don't have those two components with the giving process. So anyway, I know this is a little different to my normal morning story time, if you will, but I'm just sitting here at the airport and this kind of crossed my mind, and I just thought it was kind of I just thought it was funny when I saw that the men had to give half of their earnings to the women. And I thought, yep, there you go again. The women have zero accountability today, and they don't take responsibility, and they just demand things that you have to give them to one and give it to them in the name of fairness and equality. It's absolutely ridiculous, and it's no wonder this country is going squirrely right now. And again, I love women. I hate feminism because it destroys men and women, mostly women. Oh, and the other thing, because the women's sports product is so bad, and if you really do want to promote women's sports, I thought that this would be a great idea, is instead of having two separate tournaments, so let's just take the NCAA basketball tournament, for example. Everybody knows that the men's NCAA basketball championship is the greatest sporting event, probably in the world, definitely in the United States. Everybody, those first few rounds is a lot of excitement, a lot of fun. Instead of them having a men's tournament and a women's tournament, they should have like the women's teams play right before the men's team. So it would kind of be like a warm-up game. If you're going to go to a comedy club, you have the warm-up, guy or a concert, the warm-up band before you go to, the main concert. And you can do the same thing with the World Cup. You don't need to have a men's and women's. You're going to have everybody at the one arena. So if you were going to have United States versus Iran yesterday, you could have had the women play first, and then the men could play after. And the same thing with the NCAA tournament. And that would do a couple of things. First of all, it would give the women who are playing these sports an absolutely phenomenal venue, because a lot of these guys who are only interested in the men's tournament, they'll show up early just to cheer on the ladies, and then the women would be able to play in some packed houses. So it would be really, really cool. And then on top of that, if they really do think their product is that good and the only reason it's not being successful is not enough people are aware of it, well, guess what? You've got a packed house, more people can pay attention and be aware of the men's or the women's basketball, women's soccer, whatever it is. So I just thought that would be a much better idea than trying to do, their separate things. And it's fine if you want to do your separate things, and you should get a separate paycheck too. If we're going to split the money, you might as well do all this stuff at the same venue. But anyway, I just heard the announcement. Looks like we're getting ready to board soon. It is, let's see, last day of November, Wednesday, November 30th. Michigan time, it's about 11:30 here. I think it's 9:30. So have a great day, everybody. We'll touch base with you tomorrow. Probably going to be in San Diego. All right, ciao.